Gay marriage is now legal in 5 new states after the Supreme Court refused to hear the appeal cases for banning it. It's the first time has ever been a working legal tactic. Hi folks, welcome to the news show. I'm Ross Everett, and no news is good news. You know how most news outlets often sensationalize a bunch of nothing? Normally it's the news equivalent of a ton of sequels to a high-grossing movie, but instead of Hangover 3, it's another patient in observation for Ebola. I'll tell you something, until that person's actually diagnosed with Ebola, it's not news, it's clickbait. But lo and behold, here's one instance where non-news actually generated real news. The news equivalent of the Big Bang, if you will. I will. Thanks, Ross. The inventor of the Cronut has revealed his secret recipe. I'm just kidding, that's not what this piece is about. Gay marriage is now legal in 5 more states in the US after the Supreme Court refused to hear their appeal cases regarding the overturning of a same-sex marriage ban. Essentially, the Supreme Court is being praised for not doing anything, something Congress has been trying to achieve for years. Oh man, can't we just talk about the Cronut? No, maybe later. But first, let's rewind a bit. First of all, every state affected by this inaction has banned gay marriage at one point or another. But if you're a same-sex couple that was married in a different state where gay marriage is legal, and then moved to a state that has passed a ban, but you still want your union acknowledged, you would need to take it to the courts to overturn the ban and, you know, stay married. It would be like if you adopted a kid and then moved to a place that didn't allow adoption, so they tried to take your baby away because, you know, kids are meant to be had by a man and a woman. So why didn't the Supreme Court hear these cases? We could see that in all of these states, the people suing for marriage equality won their initial suits and the bans were ruled unconstitutional. But then the state appealed the rulings and it was brought to the appeals court where, again, those suing to lift the ban won. So the next step is for the Supreme Court to hear the cases and pass down a ruling that will be used to govern these types of cases for years to come. However, they didn't. And while the court didn't release a statement explaining why they're not hearing these cases, Ruth Bader Ginsburg hinted a while back that they probably wouldn't get involved because there was no disagreement among the lower courts. Basically, the court isn't going to hear the cases until one of these appeal courts rules in favor of the ban. Now, by default, the previous rulings to overturn the bans are good to go. For now, but this isn't necessarily over. To explain why, let's look at my Marriage Equality World Series bracket. We can see that Equality won in the division to carry it over to the playoffs, and then they won again here in the League Championship Series. And now it's time for the World Series, the big crowning achievement that actually matters. Marriage Equality versus the Great Bambino. Marriage Equality is up 3-0 and needs one more win to close this thing out. But the Supreme Court is saying, nah, you guys are clearly the better team, why bother having the last game? But the problem here is that now Marriage Equality is only the league champions. They needed to win this last game to become World Series champions, and the Supreme Court doesn't want to umpire the game until the Great Bambino is in better playing shape, rather than to continue to binge on hot dogs, beer, and bigotry. So yes, while this is progress for the time being, the Supreme Court's inaction on these cases is merely a temporary win for marriage equality. Without an actual Supreme Court ruling, there's no precedent for these cases on a national level, leaving them vulnerable in the future. What do you guys think? Should the Supreme Court have heard these cases? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you like this video? Let me know by clicking that like button down below, and also if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We make videos Monday through Thursday that look very similar to this one. Take a look. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month! It's a whole month dedicated to the terrifying thought that you might have or one day get breast cancer.